Happy New Year, Freaky Tech family. Before we get too far into 2025, I wanted to do a quick recap of my favorite products that I reviewed in 2024. So let's dive into it. So kicking things off, I have the SundaePC. This is a mini PC that truly packs a punch for its size. It's just 2.1 inches tall and 4.7 inches wide, but while this thing is incredibly compact, it does not skimp on the power. It features a 12th generation i5 processor, 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and a 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD that is upgradable if you need more storage space. Connectivity is really awesome with it as well because it has a 10 gigabyte per second USB port, a display port with an HDMI adapter included, a 2.5 gigabyte Ethernet jack, Wi-Fi 6E, and Bluetooth. This is an all-in-one unit. What I really like about it is its overall versatility. It's powerful enough to be a full workstation, but doubles as an amazing media hub for streaming. Plus, it's also customizable with color sleeves to match your setup. Now, normally it's priced around $600, but I have seen it for as low as $400, and honestly, even for the full price, it is worth every single penny. I'm a big fan of SundaePC. It's their only product right now because they are a very small company, but I am looking forward to seeing what they come out with in this next year. Now, as we go through these products, just know that I have linked each one in the description down below. I've included both affiliate and non-affiliate links. That way you don't feel forced into supporting the channel financially. However, if you do use the affiliate links, just know that I very much appreciate it. For number 2 on the list, I have the GL.iNet mini travel router. Now, this is a product that I included on my travel tech list. I have not done a standalone review with it, but it is a lifesaver for anyone staying in hotels that travels a lot. How it works is that it connects to the hotel's Wi-Fi or Ethernet, but it gives you your own private protected network wherever you go. You can do advanced things like set up your own firewalls, or you can just simply give your network a different passcode. That way you know exactly who's joining it and how they got there. This gives you the ability to monitor connected devices, which gives you an extra peace of mind, and you know that if there's an unknown device on there, that you should definitely look into it and kick it off of your network. Outside of travel, it's also great for setting up a dedicated network for your kids so you can manage their internet activity. It has a price range of around $30 when it's on sale, but $50 at its most expensive, which is an absolute steal for what you're getting. GL.iNet also has a newer model that gives you Wi-Fi 6E. It is a bit more expensive, but if you need more power, then there is that upgradable option as well. But overall, for the price that you're getting for this thing, this is one of the best products that I've seen on the channel, and I highly recommend it. For number 3 on the list, I have the Arcade 1-Up NFL Blitz arcade machine. For the retro gaming fans, the Arcade 1-Up NFL Blitz arcade machine, that's a mouthful, is an absolute treat. It stands at 5 feet tall, so it's not gigantic, but it does take up a good amount of space. But this unit features 3 classic NFL Blitz games, and it really does a good job of giving you that authentic arcade experience with bright lights and nostalgic sounds. You can play with up to 4 people, and it even includes fake coin slots for that extra throwback vibe. The 17-inch LCD screen and 49-way joystick make for really smooth and responsive gameplay, and the buttons feel just like you're actually at an arcade. Now, I picked it up for about $500 brand new on Amazon, so it is a bit pricey and it does take up some space, but if you've got the space and you've got the extra budget to do it, absolutely worth it. Arcade 1-Up has a ton of different options that you can choose from for arcade machines. This one, it just happens to be for a game that I very much love. For number 4 on the list, I actually have a keyboard that I did in one of my recent Temu hauls that has its own screen built into it. Now, I have not done a full review on this one yet, but I do plan to include it in the next couple of weeks, so be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see a video on it. But if you did watch that Temu video, then you'll see a couple of quick shots and some testing that I did on it. What it is the Maxfree K3 mechanical keyboard. It features a built-in 13-inch 1920 by 720p touchscreen, and it uses Gatoron yellow switches for that really satisfying typing feel. It's been a really fun addition to my gaming setup because I use it as a second monitor that doesn't take up very much space. But you can also hook it up for standalone gaming as well. Now, it is Windows only, so apologies for the Mac users out there, so it won't work for everybody, but if it does fit your setup, it's a very cool and unique product. I grabbed it for about $200 on Temu, and it's not actually easy to find on Temu. It seems to constantly refresh different product pages, so it's hard for me to link it down below. So I'll do my best to include a more up-to-date link, but I will say that it is definitely worth the hunt, and I do plan to do that review on it in the coming week. So stick around and you'll be able to see when that video comes out. Now, for number 5 on the list, I have the Edelkrone StandPlus Pro, which is hands down one of my most used tools in the studio. It is a foldable tripod that is incredibly portable, and it just unfolds in seconds, which makes setup a breeze. I added a quick release mount for even more efficiently, so I can just throw my camera on there and go, and it's been a real game changer for shooting B-roll and quick setups. But as a solo content creator, it makes my setup so much more efficient and helps me get more videos out more often. It is very pricey, but the time and space it saves can actually make it worth every cent. So if you're into videography and need a solid tripod that's going to be in a studio environment, this is definitely one to consider. Although I will say that there are better things to spend your money on if you're new to content creation. So for me, I found value in it while being able to quickly have it over the shoulder shots, then desk level shots, then face level shots, all quickly moving the friction hinges that provide very solid support. So for me, I really like it for my setup, but it is probably not a very necessary product for the average creator. You can find the Pro model like I have for about $600, or you can find the step down, which holds a little bit less payload capacity at $500. And a lot of times Edelkrone will have a 20 to 30% off sale, so you can get a little bit cheaper than that, but no matter what, it's never going to be cheap enough to be justified. So I do hope there's other companies that come out with similar ideas, but it's a really solid product. Now for number 6 on the list, I have one of my all-time favorite products that I've ever reviewed, and you've seen it several times on the channel. It's the Nitro Deck, but more specifically, the Nitro Deck Plus. Cracked just recently entered the gaming market for Nintendo Switch accessories, I think last year or maybe 2 years ago, which is a little bit late to the game, but this product definitely makes up for it. And they took what was already an amazing grip for the Switch, which was the Nitro Deck, and just made it even better. So now it's a full docking station in addition to a Switch. It's got replaceable Hall effect joysticks, it has on-the-fly button mapping, and it has the ability to connect to your TV setup via HDMI, all without removing the Switch from the grip. You can also use it as a controller while it's docked and connected to a monitor, or just connect one of Crack's several controller options if you want to sit on the couch and just play via Bluetooth. I will say that the only type of gamer the Nitro Deck is not good for is those who like to remove the Joy-Cons constantly and play multiplayer. Then it's not the best fit, but for the solo Nintendo Switch owner, this thing's a no-brainer. It does come in around $70 for the Nitro Deck Plus, but you can still get the original Nitro Deck for around $45 to $50. Either way, I highly recommend the Plus because it has extra macro options. It has that HDMI port and functionality. It's just better, the updates they put on it. So I think it's worth the $70, and I think it's a must-have for any Switch owner. And I'm really excited to see what Cracked has in store for 2025, because if the rumors are true and the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out, I think they're gonna have some really good ideas for how to make a really cool product for it. Now, number 7 on the list is the Toprig Slider S60. So if you're a content creator and you're on the market for a slider, then the Toprig S60 by Axoon is a must-have. It's a motorized slider that has its own built-in parallax system, and what this means is that with a twist of a couple of knobs, you're able to make the camera turn so that it focuses on one spot. So for me, you'll see me use it sometimes for product videography where I want to show a moving shot of a product. It is killer for that, but it also has a reverse parallax mode where it makes the camera kind of do an arc, which is excellent for like time-lapse curved movements. What sets it apart from other sliders is the fact that it prides itself on not using an app. There is an app for it, but it's really meant to use the 4 control buttons on the slider itself. It is all controlled with those buttons, which is really refreshing because it makes it so easy to set up and use. The main control mode allows you to do like loop modes or easily set point A to point B so that you can set up a shot just within a few seconds. It comes in at $320 on sale or $400 for full price, and there is the S40 version, which has a shorter track length and it's a little cheaper. I think the S60 is really the one to go with in this regard, and it's a great entry point for anyone diving into videography for the first time who wants a slider. And number 8 on the list, this is the last time I'm going to talk about this freaking product because I've talked about it so much this year, but it is the G8 Galileo mobile gaming controller. It's a product that I've included in several videos so far, whether a standalone review or my travel tech review. Son of a bitch. When did the screen turn off? Oh my God. That's so annoying. I'm not going back. But I've reviewed the G8 Galileo for a couple of different videos, and it really is just that good. It fits most Android and iOS devices, and it offers 3 customizable profiles, whether you're playing on PlayStation Network, Xbox Game Pass, or just mobile controls. It has Hall effect joysticks, very responsive buttons, and an advanced macro system that allows you to adjust the macros on the fly just with controller commands. This controller gives you everything you need for a variety of gaming scenarios, and GameSir, the company that makes it, even introduced an extension for tablets, which makes it even more versatile. At $70, it is a bit pricey, but I do think it's worth every penny. But take a look at some of the reviews recently, because I've seen some issues with the USB port, so keep in mind that I'm starting to see that pop up from people who have loved the device, that GameSir kind of needs to work on this. But if you get one that doesn't have that issue, I think it's absolutely worth it. Now for number 9 on the list is a very popular product that you've definitely heard of, called the OLED Steam Deck. The Steam Deck in general is just a great device whenever it came out, and it's still one of the top leading gaming handhelds on the market, but I cannot say enough good things about the OLED model. I actually started with the ROG Ally when it released in 2023, but when a neighbor lent me the Steam Deck for a comparison video, I immediately fell in love with it. And while it's not as internally powerful as the Ally, it makes up for it with a very simple operating system with Steam OS that makes it quick and easy to get into a game. And then on top of that, it's well built and it has the best ergonomics on the market, with the joystick and D-pad at the top of the device. Just because of the ergonomics alone, I will always pick it up over the ROG Ally or any other device on the market. And I'm not going to beat this drum any more than this video right now, but more companies need to put joysticks at the top of controllers. And I have really large hands, so that's part of why I like having it like the way that it's built. But I think anyone could appreciate that. And because I like the Steam Deck so much, I've put over 400 hours of just brotato alone onto the Steam Deck because of this. And it actually has ended up carrying the load of most of my gaming nowadays. Even though I have a full gaming PC setup and a PS5, I think it's worth it for that regard, because it's easy just to turn on and get started. Now, it's definitely not a cheap device. I mean, you can't get it any cheaper than like $400 brand new for the LCD model. I like the OLED screen. I think it's crystal clear and it looks fantastic. The screen looks better than the ROG Allies. And I think every device should have OLED moving forward. Talking to you, Nintendo, the Switch 2 had better have OLED. And if you do already have a Steam Deck and you're looking for something to fit around it, such as a case, I have 2 different ones that I alternate between. The one that I currently have on it is the Satisfy Stealth Grip. That is a very beefy way of protecting your Steam Deck, but it's not easy to travel with. So I also switch it out for the JSO Steam Deck case, because it is much easier to slip into a bag and take with you. Now for number 10 on the list, I have a very unique tech product that is not for everybody, but it's really cool for those who appreciate it, and it's the iGulu Beer Brewer. This was a surprise positive review, because an automated smart beer brewer just sounds like a disaster in the making, but iGulu nailed it. And with this thing, you can brew over a gallon of beer in just 2 weeks, and it tastes fantastic. It's so simple to use, where you just add a gallon of water, then the beer mixes from iGulu in their specified order, and the machine does the rest. It keeps you updated with its app, and if you install a CO2 compressor, then it'll stay fresh for up to 30 days. This is probably the most unnecessary purchase on this list, but if you are interested in it, then I can confidently say that the iGulu Smart Beer Brewer is absolutely worth it, and you will not regret buying it. But let me know in the comments down below, out of these 10 products, which one was your favorite that you saw me review this year, or is there one that you really liked that I didn't list? I'd love to hear in the comments. But be sure to subscribe and join the Freaky Tech family. We are growing like crazy, and we are positioned to have an amazing 2025, and I'd love for you to be a part of that growth. And also, I'm going to CES this year, so I'm going to do a recap video, and I'm really excited to tell you about some of the upcoming tech that we're going to see this year as well. But thank you so much for spending some of your day with me, and I really appreciate you stopping by. Again, I'm Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews. I'll see you next time. So real quick before you go, YouTube thinks that you might like this video or this video, so if you want to keep exploring the channel, then be sure to check those out. Have a good one.